Welcome to Think Grow, where we cover the world's trending news day, Day 10. We are bringing you the absolute most critical, fast-moving, and honestly, shocking global updates from around the world today. From high-stakes political maneuvering to heart-stopping emergencies caught on camera, the world is moving incredibly fast right now. And, well, we're going to break it all down for you. Welcome to Think Grow, where we cover the world's trending news, Day 10. Okay, let's dive right into this. We've got a really packed agenda today. First, global power moves. Second, a world in crisis. Then, shocking crimes and tragedies. And finally, some wild moments caught on camera. Section 1. Global power moves. High-stakes politics. Right, so Chinese President Xi Jinping has really been basking in the spotlight lately. He just hosted Russian President Vladimir Putin mere days after hosting Donald Trump. And the strategy here is absolutely all about optics. By organizing two major presidential visits back-to-back like that, Xi is sending a very deliberate message to the rest of the world. He's essentially saying he's talking to everyone, but he remains tied to no one. It's a masterclass in projecting extreme independence, carefully manipulating how the globe perceives China's role as this central, yet totally unaligned power broker.
Pivoting over to U.S. politics for a second, we're seeing Donald Trump continue to exert an iron grip on the Republican Party, though definitely not without some internal friction. He just secured a major victory when rebel Republican Thomas Massie was defeated in Kentucky, which really showcases Trump's enduring influence over the voter base. And to further assert that power, he's endorsed Ken Paxton in a crucial Texas race, essentially gambling on a challenger with known baggage. While this strategy undeniably projects total dominance, it definitely brings substantial midterm risks. Plus, it's deeply dismayed a lot of Senate Republicans who've served alongside the Texan for decades. It really highlights this growing, palpable tension between the party's traditional guard and Trump's unyielding influence.
Moving into Section 2, a world in crisis, immediate threats. 139. That is the latest number of suspected deaths from a highly concerning Ebola outbreak right now in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And the World Health Organization is issuing a pretty stark warning that this number is going to rise. They're already tracking 600 cases. What makes this specific crisis so incredibly difficult to contain is that it involves a rare strain of the Ebola virus, and it's spreading in an area that's already deeply affected by ongoing conflict. The DRC is literally facing its 17th outbreak of this disease, creating just a deeply complex and deadly emergency. Moving over to Afghanistan, the economic reality on the ground is just devastating. The immediate crisis is that a staggering 3 in 4 people in the country cannot meet their most basic human needs. And, this isn't just some abstract economic statistic. It translates into unimaginable human suffering. The dire consequence we're seeing reported is that Afghan fathers are being forced into making impossible, heartbreaking choices. We're seeing reports detailing families actually selling their own children just to afford enough food to survive. It's a stark, horrifying reminder of the toll of absolute economic collapse. 21. That is the grim death toll from recent Israeli airstrikes in Lebanon, according to Lebanon's state-run news agency. The human tragedy within that single number is profound. The reports emphasize that out of those 21 casualties, 12 people were killed in a single strike on one house. And among those 12 were 3 women and 3 children. It's just a sobering metric of the immediate lethal realities of the ongoing conflict in that region. Over in Europe, we tracked a real-time escalation that literally sent shockwaves through Lithuania. A suspected drone was suddenly detected near the country's border with Belarus, and the reaction was instantaneous. Flights in the region were immediately suspended. The situation escalated so rapidly that Lithuania's national leaders were actually urged to run and take immediate shelter during the air alert. It perfectly captures that sheer unpredictability and constant state of high alert that's characterizing Eastern Europe right now. Section 3. Shocking crimes and tragedies. Real-life horrors. The grim details surrounding the San Diego mosque attack are finally coming into clearer focus. Authorities have stated that the teenage suspects involved shared a broad hatred encompassing multiple religions and racial groups. In the midst of this targeted violence, security guard Amin Abdullah was tragically killed. Abdullah, who was a father of 8, is being universally hailed as a hero. People who knew him described him as a shining light, making his loss in this senseless act of hatred just all the more devastating for the community. In Pakistan, the justice system just handed down the ultimate penalty in a highly publicized case. A man has been sentenced to death for the murder of teenage TikTok star Sana Yusuf.
While this sentence does bring a legal conclusion to this specific, horrific crime, activists on the ground are quick to point out that this is definitely not an isolated incident. They argue that this high-profile murder actually highlights a much larger, systemic pattern of violence against women in the country that desperately needs addressing.
Now, what is absolutely staggering about this number is the sheer scale of the sentence. 75 years. That's the prison sentence handed down to Nigeria's former power minister following a massive corruption conviction. But what makes this story even more dramatic is that the sentence was actually handed down in absentia earlier this month because the former minister was on the run. Authorities finally tracked him down and literally dragged him out of hiding to face the staggering 75-year reality. And finally, Section 4, Wild Moments Caught on Camera. Unbelievable Scenes.
This first incident is nothing short of miraculous. At a U.S. air show, spectators watched in absolute horror as two U.S. Navy fighter jets collided midair. In a terrifying split-second sequence of events, all 4 crew members managed to trigger their ejections. Despite the complete, catastrophic mid-air destruction of their aircraft, emergency responders found all 4 crew members on the ground in stable condition. It is a breathtaking testament to the engineering of those ejection seats and the rapid response of the aircrew.
And if that wasn't intense enough, listen to this sequence of events captured entirely on police body cam footage. A severe house fire erupts, right? Trapping residents inside. In a desperate bid for survival, a baby is thrown from a high window of the burning home. And in an incredible feat of reflexes, a police officer on the ground actually manages to catch the infant perfectly. It's a heart-stopping piece of footage that really captures the absolute chaos of emergency response and just a truly heroic, life-saving catch.
Okay, from life-saving miracles to absolute consumer chaos. We recently saw utter madness at a Swatch watch launch. The scene was described as entirely chaotic. So these watches had an original retail price of £335, but the hype was so intense that shoppers were literally scrambling, fighting through crowds to buy these plastic watches, only to immediately flip them on the resale market for shocking markups. We're talking asking prices reaching up to £16,000. One person even bragged about selling it for over £1,000 instantly. It's a really wild snapshot of hype culture and artificial scarcity.
So what does this all mean? When we step back and look at the events of just this one day, the sheer unpredictability is literally breathless. From national leaders forced to run for shelter from drone threats, to military jets colliding in the sky, to the utter heartbreak of children being sold just so a family can survive an economic collapse. It begs a profound question. How do we navigate any sense of stability or normalcy in an age defined by constant, compounding global shock? It's definitely something to think about as you watch the news cycle continue to spin. Thanks for watching us. Please like our video and subscribe our channel. We'll provide you such information every day.